that is partly what tonight is about, is your internal conversations with yourselves as well. My name is Lissa Regier, and I have the honor of leading Thrive Allen County. And I want to point out, I told Maria this when she walked in, I'm so excited for all the littles here tonight, because when we have our conversation tonight, it is about the people in this room, but it's always also about our future. And it's sitting right at a couple tables here, and I'm super excited about that. And so I also want our parents to know, don't be nervous if your kids are making noise, right? Like so many of the churches, I'm dancing right there, will say, we love to hear the cries because that means the future. So thank you guys for bringing the kiddos as well. Tonight is about you guys, and typically I stand up here and I lead this conversation, but we've been changing it up this year, and we have been having our community engagement team lead the conversations because they are truly the ones on the back end who come through and also lead the work. And so, one, it's not fair for me to get up here and get up to do all the fun stuff, and then they're up there like really powering through with all the work. But I did want to say thank you. Thrive has been here for 18 years now. We can't be here without you. We need your partnership. We need your vision for our community. We need your ideas. And you guys have great ideas. And that is what tonight is about. Where are our opportunities for our community? Where do we have some barriers in place? Where do we have places of improvement? And Marcia's going to go through all of that with you. And tonight's going to be done a little bit differently than we've done in the past. And she's going to explain that too. You guys are going to be a little bit of guinea pig group for us, so congratulations. But again, thank you so much. We will try and keep this within an hour, a little hour plus. We know your time is valuable, but we want to get as much information from all of you as possible. So with that, Marcia, I turn it over to you.
Okay. Yes, like Lisa said, I'm Marcia Davis. I am the Director of Community Engagement for Thrive. I've been with Thrive for 6 years, and I just love this work because I get to be out in the communities, meeting all kinds of people, working with them, and bringing dreams to life. So it's just a wonderful place to work.
I'll pay her later for that.
So I also want to say, once again, thank you for coming. We really appreciate you taking your time, and we're looking forward to hearing all your ideas or your concerns and how we can make Iola better and flourish and make it a great place to live, grow, and first off, I'm just going to have all the Thrive staff kind of stand up. We're not going to go through introductions, just kind of stand up and wave so you guys can kind of see who else works at Thrive. So when you have questions or you see them out in the community, you can talk to them about what's going on at Thrive or what's going on in the community. We do have one new staff member who I would like to introduce. She has been with Thrive for, I think, a week and a half.
I think it's 2 weeks.
Okay. She is our new Economic Development Director. Would you like to stand up, Camille? It's Camille Levon. And you will see her out in the community. She's already been in places. We've been in Moran,
taking it everywhere.
Yeah. So she's also here to help us grow our community and all that we have. So once again, thank you for coming. So like Lisa said, we're going to do a little different. Usually we have a couple questions and you guys just shout out your answers or share your answers and things. Well, tonight, since we have so many people, we would like you to work in a small group. So in your table groups, and I have 3 questions that I will share with you that I would like you to kind of ponder and work on in your small group. You have the big sticky notes and markers so someone can kind of take notes or write down your ideas. Then after about 15 minutes, we'll come back together unless you need more time. And then we will kind of share out the answers and start the conversation that way. So our 3 questions, first off, everybody kind of understand that? So here's a small table, you might want to move to another table. But I think it's pretty good, yeah. So our questions are also on the TV. So our first one is, what gives you pride in our community? What is good? What gives you pride? What makes Iola a great place to live? Number 2, what are the opportunities in the community Or what are we missing? What could be improved? Number 3, where do you find barriers and where are the needs for growth? So it's gonna take about 15 minutes. Brainstorm with your table, share your ideas, then we'll come back together. questions? First, there's a flyer on the table. We are looking for youth interns to work at Thrive through school year. So if you know anybody who's a senior in high school or college student, send them our way. They would be interested. Take the flyer, share with them if they would might be interested in doing an internship with Thrive during the school year. We also put on your table this little flyer. It has a QR code. This QR code will take you to kind of a website that has nominations for our annual dinner, annual celebration. We're still taking nominations until Monday. We're looking for like
Think fast and think of everybody you can. We want all the nominations.
So we're taking nominations for a change maker, which is somebody 21 or younger who has made something wonderful in our own county. We have development, we have health and wellness, we have education, we have Donna Talkington, volunteer of the year. Any of these, if you have anybody you want to nominate, you can do it there.
And can I also add, if you're not good at online, that's okay. You can write stuff down, you can come into the office and talk to us. However you want to share this information, great, because the board votes on it next week.
And that's also why we have these little pieces of paper on the table, so if there's something you want to take notes from tonight, or if there's something that doesn't get shared that you want to share, you can leave it, write it down, leave it on the table, we'll collect them and review them later. Yeah, so if you have a nomination, you can always write it on this piece of paper, yes. Did I forget anything? Okay, so we are going to start sharing what gives us pride in our community. But first, I know there is someone here who has something very passionate that they want to share, and so I would like to let him speak first. Sutton, what do you have to say?
Stop cutting down trees.
Yes. He's very concerned that they cut down the trees by the high school. So I just wanted to make sure we got that shared. So what I'd like us to do is we're going to kind of go around each table and share the one thing on your list that gives you the most pride. And we're going to take notes. Can you share a quick Yeah, okay, share a couple. What gives you the most pride? Anybody want to go first? You want to go? Okay, let's go over here.
Town square.
Okay, town square.
Always looks so nice and pretty, and then the history of our square.
The history of our square, okay? Town square and the history. Another table want to go? Okay, not here.
So, this is the last one we thought of, we put in the curriculum. This community, and it has a daily newspaper.
Daily newspaper.
Yeah, this is right.
Yeah.
If you put this down, it's hard. Good work there. And then, man, I'm gonna ask someone else to pick one off.
There's a lot of love for pools, recs, and trails.
Okay, awesome. Okay, you guys want to go?
Or the Allen County College, and all of the opportunities there, especially the newly announced program, and the student bodies, and I would say especially the international students that come in as well.
Okay. Anything else?
I asked her to expand it because some people seem concerned about picking one.
And then for very future focus, there's hope, and opportunities and things that are changing and moving and growing.
Awesome. Would you guys like to go?
We had a couple of things that I think we can best wrap under the umbrella of like an openness to consider new ideas. One was the school district with their kind of grow your own teacher program to get paras and convert them into teachers. Another was the splash park that the city kind of saw the value that a group of volunteers did and ran with that. Recycling. And then the next one.
I love that that was said.
Then the other one was the Cedar Brook edition. Represents the city's bet on building something, and it was a big investment. It was like $1.2 million, and to see progress going out there. Again, you didn't know that that was going to necessarily work out, but the city was able to say it's worth a try.
How about over here? Oh, sorry.
Is that our thing?
You want me to? Just go ahead.
Yeah, just.
Okay, so at the very top, I have all three of them. But it might be right. Is the fact that our hospital is part of a system, and also that the community is family friendly. We also have the libraries that we have within not just the city, but also the college and their connection with Southeast Kansas as a whole. And the bolus.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks, Josiah.
Okay, back here, Tracy.
The one that stands out to me is just the culture of health in the community, and it's really a lot of programming and resources available. I think back when I was a kid, we didn't have any of these trails that are around. We didn't have the skateboard park, we didn't have the frisbee park, we didn't have, tic-tac-toe and things named on the square. So there's a lot of things, the rec department has an incredible amount of programming for children and adults, it's really cool. So there's really a lot of things available to choose from, but I'm also gonna say that I'm disappointed in the amount of participation there is, because quite often these spaces are empty. So.
Do you have another one, or do you want to stick with that? Do you have another one, or do you want to stick with that? How about this table?
So we said really like the small town feel, the town
Okay, awesome. So does anybody want to, is there anything that didn't make it on the list that somebody wants to lift up as something that is great about having a different supply?
Okay, we just think the bride was really cool.
Oh!
I will take Susan later as well.
It's been there for 18 years and everything is done, and it wasn't a fashion event at all, and it just, we are so lucky to have Thrive, the whole county, and it's not just an Iola thing, of course.
You kind of thrive with all the other programs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Using now, but when limited.
Yeah.
The churches, there are some good organizations that want to be there for people when they're in need. And it's easy to get frustrated. The last 2 weeks over at the Presbyterian Church, last 2 Sundays, we sent over 2 and you don't see that lesson. So there's needs out there. We've got some organizations that they're gonna step up.
Any others? Anybody wants to lift up, to be pride in the community?
Can I just say, I was super proud because every one of these tables, I feel like lifted up another organization that's
Yeah.
somewhere in the room, and I just think it shows the collaboration and all the good things going on. You guys made me feel more fuzzies, so I liked it.
Would anybody like to share anything more about any of the ones that we did lift up?
Did anybody specifically talk about, mental health, and heard the hospital mention? This week you mentioned SEC.
Yeah, that's good.
They're doing pretty good.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
One of the problems with the hospital is when they first started, they had listening sessions here. And one of the comments was made, "Oh, we're bringing in professionals." I knew some of them. We'll bring them in once or twice a week. And I asked a very simple question. If I have a heart attack, are you gonna put me on ice until the next day? It's a Band-Aid patient. Nothing more, nothing less. I know the doctors that were here, the first thing they do is ship you to Kansas City or Wichita. That's not what a hospital is for. It's to collect their money, ship them on, and go on. That's it.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's try to stay on the positive, that what brings us pride. Anything else anybody wants to share?
Yeah, the state park.
Okay, yeah. Anything else? Okay, how about we go to question number 2, which was, what are the opportunities in our community, or what are we missing in our community? Any, Josiah, you want to go
Yeah.
first?
So this one's actually in a different color. And as soon as it was starting to be said, I knew what it was. So we do have the largest square, Courthouse Square, thank you, Becky. But we could rebrand it into being the largest monopoly board, which would be an attraction for folks. And there is a jail on the corner. And there is free parking all the way around the square.
A lot of people are not in agreement.
A few other things is that we're, yeah, I think you said it's a big plus, which is, it's punny, because we are at the intersection of 54 and 169, so 2 big travel routes that we could really take opportunity from. I know in the past, the mayor has talked about us needing to do a billboard that lets them know that we have a dog park in town. So that way folks will come into town, they have their pets with them. Let's see, other opportunity. No, that was actually in the Pride Park. But an opportunity would be to have convening conversations between all the different electorates in the county. The cities, the county, the college board, the school districts, all those different groups, and really try to break down those silos that we've created ourselves.
So one meeting with all those groups together.
Yes,
Or with
or
representatives.
somebody
Or
representing, yeah.
Oh, that's an idea.
Like that.
Yeah. Any other table want to share, or I will call you out? Okay, how about Tim's table?
What are we missing?
What about?
We thought a lot about, like, with the state park, I think we need to get a friends of the park, what we do, to help market that, sorry. That's a good, I'm glad, that's an insight. And we thought a lot about housing, just housing stock. When you go through town, you see a lot of homes that aren't well taken care of. How can we, help homeowners who don't have the resources or who aren't able to? Do we need to partner with like a Habitat for Humanity, or do we need to offer some microloans, like what Matt did with replacing water meters and books, stuff that keeps homes livable for longer. Tax rebates, those types of things. Retail, just more retail around town, because those small business owners are who really have skin in the game. They are your city council members and your school board members. Their lives are in this town, so they need it to do well. Whereas if you work with a multinational company, your future is very mobile. So those are some of the things we've done.
So one of the things we have done at Thrive the last year or so, we have received a few grants that have a little bit of money that where we can help homeowners make improvements, making their homes more livable. And we hope to continue that, and we're continuing to look into that. That is, I think, we have to be.
And I was sharing with this table, we just created a relationship with Habitat for Humanity. We were at a housing cohort meeting in Kansas City, and so we are now starting that relationship too. And so when Tim said that, I was like, hey, this is great. We're actually getting started on this. So I'm really grateful you brought up housing, because it is one of our top concerns as well.
Okay, how about the table over here?
Evening public transportation, because it gets before, housing, some things for teenagers, there's teen activities, maybe like a Big Brothers Big Sisters, have an internship, like a single mom with a bunch of sons looking for the Big Brothers for sons.
That's a good idea. I love that. Over here?
One of the things we talked about, like a barrier kind of that we need to
barrier between, I mean, Bessie came in on health and well, Bree does a great job for people that are in their system, but preventative, getting it into school, we were talking about it earlier, the mental health, and, like, this zero reason squad that I would like to bring here, is student-based, and it's, real life storytelling. It doesn't, you're not doing any therapy with anybody like that, but it's taking the barrier from, someone in the system, and I know they come to school with the kids, taking that stigma away so they can reach out and ask for help. I think there should be an easier barrier to take that stigma away. Good. Anything else?
We talked about rural health care and recruitment of medical professionals to Indiana.
How about this thing over here?
Sidewalks. There seem to be a lot of sidewalks that are not in good repair or are missing. And then since they brought up, the opportunity we're missing by not following our boulevard down Square Boulevard, we're gonna go that far. It would be nice to have some shade on the outer square side. That seems to be, and historical photos don't seem to show that they ever grow trees along the side. It would be kind of hot, Sure, why not? I mean, we lived in towns where the requirement was to build an awning.
Yeah.
That awning on the first half of the side.
Okay, Tracy, your table? Or somebody at your table?
I think Tracy keeps getting called out.
Tim touched upon eloquently what we discussed about businesses and supporting those. So pretty much what he said, we concur with. But also, I want to point out that when we discuss changes, and many times we're defensive about change. So embracing that we're getting older, but where's the change? Where's the younger people coming to bowl us? And how do we reach that crowd? There's a lot of movers and shakers in this versus complainers on TikTok or on Facebook. How do we engage them and get them involved? Because I want to see Iowa having growth problems down the road. And don't know if I'll ever see that. But that's going to take the younger generation coming up and filling our shoes. So we need to start engaging the younger folks to get them involved on the trails and the lake that's coming in and the Moldus Center. The theater's even struggling to keep attendees there. So it's a community that has opportunities. We touched upon the sports opportunities here that just get people engaged and involved with all cultures. So it's promoting that. We also talked about a central location for knowing what's going on in the whole county, not just Iowa, not just Humboldt. Often there's a conflict in scheduling. You go to something tonight in Humboldt, you say, oh my gosh, what else is tonight? So how can we get a group electronic kiosk or something going that announces all the different events we can all put into?
This table?
So we talked about communication, better communication with the city, county, organizations, and then person outside the box. And be realistic in expectations.
Okay. Yes, just.
We had one more that I missed, and it kind of goes off what the mayor was saying, but opportunity to increase opportunities for young people or young professionals. We have stuff for, some that have stuff for the really young ones, but for those who are 18 to 30, what do we have, whether it's, they leave and they come back, or what do we actually have to help them grow as people? Because that's also another important part for us, is that we're helping folks grow and connecting with them at the same time.
Okay, good. Does anybody have anything that wasn't lifted up that they would like to share? Anything else that you need?
You know, one of the things that I've been in several of these is it would be nice if we, each table, they would go around and take a picture of all their sheets of everything that's on it rather than just the top 2 or 3 talking points. That way you get a clear picture of what everyone is doing. And you distribute it to all the people in the audience.
Arlen, that's a great idea, and we're gonna have them hung up on the walls, and we'll take the pictures there, and then we can work on getting those distributed.
Or you can also have an opportunity to go around and read them.
Mhm.
Are we still on the number 2?
Sure, do you have something
We wrote
else?
down the empty, or the Iola elementary schools, the 3 that, I mean, we'll find out soon enough. But that's a real opportunity, no matter what, to consider what we do with those spaces.
Okay, anything else anybody wants to share that's a barrier? Yes?
We forgot to mention one as a strength, which is we're very proud of our water plant being paid off. I'm
Okay.
sorry that I forgot to share that one.
Another barrier is the cost of housing and renting in the community. Sorry to
Okay,
deflate the water.
anything else before we move on to number 3?
Drain the water, sorry.
Okay, let's go to question number 3. Where do you find barriers and where are the needs for growth? Yes, Josiah, you're giving me the eye.
So we had 2 for sure. One is that at the county level, there's not a strategic plan of how do we take the county as a whole forward. Obviously, the city and everything else under there would have their own that may not connect to it, but how are we moving the county as a whole forward? And we listed the 6, 1, 5-year, 10-year outlook, and then we also. Yeah, a barrier is the negative narrative regarding Southeast Kansas, because if you go anywhere, Southeast Kansas is the most impoverished area of Kansas, is really what we're known for, and that can be detrimental to everything that we're trying to do, not just in Iola, but really the entire Southeast Kansas as a whole, and so we can help reframe the opportunities, and then getting younger folks to develop their leadership skills and really be engaged and vocal on issues that are pressing, because we're all getting older. We need somebody to eventually replace us wherever we're at.
Much like what Steve was
Yep.
saying. Okay, good. Okay, Tim?
Well, I'm gonna piggyback on Josiah and we really think, we need a county administrator, like we have a city administrator. When you have the turnover in county commissioners, you just don't have the institutional knowledge that is required. And also you don't have the distance needed when you're up for election all the time to make your people happy. And I just think that the city model really works well. And I don't know what it would take to make this happen. I think the county commissioners have to work on it. But I think it would be something worth pursuing as a county.
Interesting idea, yeah.
And then we also had, oh yeah, that's for something for the city, not somebody else. We think an at-large city council would be good instead of having wards. People running for re-election. I mean, the school board does it and it works great. And Iola's such a small town geographically that I think it would be, why not have it just be, if you've got 3 people interested to run and they live in 1 ward and you're gonna lose 2 of them, that's crazy. And so we just think an at-large election for city council members would be helpful. I'll just be quiet.
Okay, the same over here.
Read a lot about housing, affordable, livable, they like, have an idea of what we can do for pathways to ownership.
Oh, right.
And resources for homeless, long-term, higher paying jobs, entrepreneurship skills, higher paying jobs that are not in the factory, more opportunities for adult education, more financial literacy.
But can I have you go back 3, between affordable, livable housing, pathways to ownership, and then I jumped to higher paying jobs. I missed whatever was in between.
Entrepreneurship skills.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeremy Taylor?
So we also talked about affordable housing. At Rotary, we just heard from the drug court gentleman, so drug addiction and use, I guess it's a benefit that we have the Oxford House and the Recovery House, so more of that. Yeah, drug courts. It's amazing what you guys are doing. Leading into Christmas clubs to help with that. Upgraded recreational facilities. Now, we're still in that part, but,
Yes.
you know, so, facilities that would encourage competitions and, so they're bringing families in, they're bringing people down to turnouts, competitions, tournaments, yeah. And then for growth, definitely into the state park and some of the promise that has come from that, like a hotel, or this hotel, and all of the other services that are associated with that, restaurants, and more bike stores, vending competition. Recreation facilities, and we talk about entrepreneurs, that's an opportunity.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Dr. Andrew Taylor?
We have a lot of places in place, quality rental properties, quality housing, improving on our built environments, so sidewalks, streets, pathways within town. Recognize poverty is a major factor of that is apologize, lack of middle income and approval is kind of and one other area is like lack of the service sector industry, so like building repairs, roofing contractors, things like that. So it's hard to find people to repair houses that are.
Okay, back table?
Our notes pretty much follow up the 2 tables here, just that one extra thing we have is a lack of employment resource for felons that live around here. They're living here, a lot of times they're burdened on second, third generation families, mom and grandma. So, just add that to what you said.
Steve, can we ask, just because we're kind of tallying, was housing on your list and,
Yes.
and rec opportunities and like infrastructure? Was it that stuff?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, what do you guys have, Jen?
Qualified workforce is on there too, so.
We have a lot of the same housing and daycare, healthcare, cell coverage, no charging stations. And they're being bored out. You know, not everybody's favorite, I'm reading Facebook, not everybody's, transportation. Community support.
When you say, charging station, is that for a car, or is that just?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to say about that? Yes?
Just because, not because it's sitting right now, I mean, the law enforcement in our communities is pretty solid. They are there to help. Versus, I'm worried for a second, like, oh, we're gonna say something.
Anything else anybody wants to lift up that might not have been said? Yeah.
Wait,
Or the going for is the quality of the motels. And I just had friends that will stay in Iola that go to something else.
So you're saying that will be fast, that's why.
we on the, that's like the number 3, right? I think one of the things the city and the county have said to each other probably like 18 times, we've printed 18 articles, that the city and the county are gonna get together to talk about recycling or something. And sometimes I feel like that, just like, that's probably where a county administrator would come in. But those just like structural issues sometimes prohibit progress because Matt's probably trying to contact at the city, somebody at the county, but that somebody at the county is running the business or, so I just think sometimes we spin our wheels on initiatives that people really want to happen. I feel like there's been a lot of civic energy behind the recycling debate. So I'm sorry to bring it up again, but I look at it as an example, just structurally, we don't have those clear lines of communication.
That's a good point, yeah.
I think that's very true, and I think there's a lot of animosity that resulted over the ambulance situation. And it's not resolved, and everybody's afraid to talk about it. And the only way you resolve problems is you identify the root cause, and then you go to the table and you talk. When you hold up the wall and don't talk, nothing gets better, it gets worse. And then the top off the teapot blows. And that's what's gonna happen.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, yes.
I was thinking about all the tires out by the trails, because that is such a eyesore and a health hazard. And we've worked to try to get hold of the right people, and that, they're gonna look at it, but they don't. And so I don't know what needs to be done about that, but that is a real problem out in the park.
Okay.
And that's gonna get more, when we have more people in here, more people are gonna see it.
Okay, so at this point, we'd kind of like to maybe discuss, what would be your top 3 issues that you would like to see addressed, energy put into in the next year? Not that we're going to do all the work, but we would like to help empower the commissioners or the council or the community members.
Community.
The community, yes, to,
Recycling, I think recycling, a lot of people would recycle it.
and how would it be?
If they would pick up the house.
Yeah, okay,
A municipal service.
yes, okay, part of the city service.
It all goes to the landfill, it's sad.
Yeah, it's not a private one, no, the recycling does not go to.
No, I mean, now it's,
Should be recycled.
should be recycled.
It's like that saying, if you want people to do something, make it easy for them to do it. And if you want it to be, if you want people not to do it, make it hard. They won't. So taking people, making them drive out to the landfill.
So I think what I'm hearing is, we really need to work on the whole communication thing between all the boards, the commission, the county commission, the city council, the college, all the different leaderships in the area. Is that what people are saying?
I think we feel like leaders don't listen. Oh, we keep saying the same thing over and over.
How can we change that?
Well, I think Marvin's had a great suggestion, just
Getting to the root cause?
really having people sit down and talk.
Okay. What about another top 3? Okay.
We like this, the cooperative opportunities a lot. We talked about just opportunities around community conversation, connections. I know a lot of what we're talking about as examples. We're going to look at like community college, K-12 system, and just how when they have worked together, the great things that have come out of that, and just finding more opportunities to align those things. I mean,
So once again, you're trying to bring boards together,
Yeah,
leadership together.
like if for some reason it seems like the projects that we put in place in the community
the district looks at it from the school district and goes, we just can't
Yeah.
do that. And the city goes, we just can't do that. And the county, and everybody goes, but 4 or 5 entities together that are the highest employers in the whole community, they probably could do something, but it's just gonna take that breaking of the ice to go, let's sit in the room, shut the door, bring food and work it out. And I feel like from a community standpoint, if I read in the paper that one entity wants to do something, it's gonna be an uphill climb to get that done. But if I read in the paper that the district and the college and the county and the city are all on a joint venture, we're gonna put this in, that's gonna make me as a taxpayer go, there's a good chance that's gonna happen. And they're gonna pretty much cover a large population of the people in the community in one of those 4 entities that are gonna be involved. So it just would give it more strength.
Okay, good idea. Did you get that?
Kind of.
Yeah.
They're gonna convene people in groups to solve
Yeah, we
problems.
got it.
So that-
We got it, we got it.
That's great. Okay, another one? Somebody have anything else? Yes?
I would like to see a reduction in the number of city council members. We used to have 3, now we have 8. I think a lot of people think 5 would be a good number. I know that would have to go to a vote, but I think it'd be a good discussion to have. It's hard enough to get 3, it'll be hard to get 5, but getting 8 is really tough.
Mhm. Reduction in city council members?
I think they ought to be paid themselves, reduce and pay the city council members. As the county commissioners are all paid. I think it's only fair that the city councilman should be paid.
Where to put the county's money towards a county administrator.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that now. Did you hear that?
Whoa, don't put that out.
Put the money.
Don't say defund.
We couldn't hear either.
Oh, I said, so he said to pay the city council, which I'm all for, but I'm only on for 4 more months. I said, take the money that the county's being paid and move that, the county commissioner's being paid, and move that towards a county administrator.
I feel like a top 3 for me, we have to do something about housing. And I know we've done stuff with housing, like we've done Cedar Brook, we're working on the land bank, we've got the duplex going up next to G&W, so it's not like nothing's being, don't misinterpret me. I know we're making strides, it's just, there needs to be some more united, some work around that where we say, hey, what can we all do together? Because I know what Thrive did, that was a great program. What if we did that times 10?
Yeah.
We all pooled our money and gave out 50 homes that could get their water heaters or more energy efficient or new roofs. That keeps that housing stock so that we don't have 6 homes being demolished every year and 2 built. So something we've got to figure out.
I think becoming unique with the solutions, because right now, the code is minimum 600 square foot for a home. And to be a tiny home, it actually has to be on wheels. And tiny homes are not allowed within the city based on current code.
Okay.
Because since it's on wheels, it's considered a recreational vehicle. You can only reside in that for 2 weeks out of the entire year within city limits. And so I think there's work there on multiple facets to look at, because even though they're expensive to build, it can also be very beneficial to those who are just starting out. Great example is with the, it's something that I really care about, as the Veterans Community Project, where they bring in the homeless veterans and they stay in tiny homes and put all the services there. And then they eventually get jobs, they have their health care, and they end up moving out within 2 years because that's the supports that they have. But I think that's an opportunity for us to, just in general, not specific to veterans, but just in general, and look at how we can tweak things to make it better and have those other options instead of these $200,000, $300,000 homes.
Josiah, is part of that policy that you're talking about?
It's code.
Code, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's all in the
Okay.
codes.
You said Fort Scott has this?
Fort Scott has done a traffic tiny home. I don't know how it's fared, but I remember that they, as a city, invested in it.
The answer is like, it's all of it, right? It's tiny homes, it's big 5-bedroom homes that somebody's gonna spend $350,000 on, it's just, I feel like we can do all that stuff if we just really have a vision and a plan, you say.
But is there data though that would show, and I know we talked to the people that built those homes, you can't build a 1,200 square foot home for under 200,000. How many jobs in this community, if you took that household income and did the math, could afford that $200,000 home? There's not enough jobs that make that, and if those people are already here, they're already in a home that they like. But like when we just moved back, the prices of homes skyrocketed and the jobs did not increase in pay. So to say we're gonna put in $250,000 homes, there's not that many people in town that could afford it. So you're gonna have to find some jobs.
I don't
They can-
know, I mean,
It's so expensive to build a house now.
I remember when the Gates, plant manager came, and he was looking for a home, he said, I want a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, and that one. And he lives in Wichita. Because couldn't find it. And I hear you, you're right, we can't build 15 of them. But, I don't know, I'm talking.
Sharon,
Well, as somebody who loves old homes, I think we have some gorgeous homes that need to be restored. And that needs to be dealt with, and we have a lot of small lots, and I have one next to my house. And you can't build anything on those small lots because we do need to look at our codes and see if it's appropriate. I mean, those were all 2-bedroom workout houses, and we're missing that starter home. Yep.
I would add, we have a lot of developers in this town who are trying to invest in development properties, and they are not able to find trades. They're able to come in, and it's stalled a lot of investment and opportunity as a result. Having people still in your trades, whether it's through the unions that do apprenticeship programs, whether it's through local community colleges, and also your workforce center as well, does a lot of credentialing. But I've gotten that feedback several times from developers trying to put in workforce housing solutions whose projects have been stalled as a result of not finding that expertise. Okay? Yes?
I just the cost of rent. I've been amazed that, we have, like the low income, that, but that next up, we have a young couple or a starter couple, and their rent, I didn't realize until like the last couple months, 3 months. I don't understand. I don't see how people rent. I mean, it's a monthly rent. $1,200 a month for rent in Iola, Kansas? Really?
I think we first of all got to agree with. We have a generation, and I'm 68 in 2 days. That generation is much different than the generation we have now. In my generation and older, there's a sense of pride in workmanship and working hard to get somewhere. Now it's about entitlement. When we entitle people, we're not going to go anywhere but down. People have to want to change. You can't force them. You can help them want to, but after a point, you got to chop the enablement off because it's just going to get worse, and that's what we've got.
okay, so we definitely want housing on our list, all
That's
encompassing.
a lot of conversation. I wrote down everything you guys said. It's a lot.
That's good. And that's typically, it's always on everybody's list, and it's been on our list to our radar, so that's awesome. We do need housing for growth. That's correct.
So, I've been working with the utility group, community house, and one of the things that we started talking about, like, how do we work with the people who do have homes for rent to get them to do some retrofitting in their homes to make them more energy efficient and things like that. And that talk was to, how can we find something like a housing habitat for humanity. So I took the opportunity and I called the national habitat. They are not chartering new locations right now. So if we want to do something, we would have to look to one of our nearest cities that does have habitat. I think Pittsburgh has one. Maybe Warren, they have one in Florida, they probably have one in Wichita, and we might be able to partner with them. And then the other thing is, I'm talking to someone who has worked both in Kansas City and Wichita to build a coalition of volunteers that will go into the low-income housing. And even ones that are rented, and help do things that will make them more energy efficient. I mean, just several things. Making sure that insulation is adequate and simple fixes. But that's going to require a little bit of organization on the front end and then finding that group of volunteers who can go in and do that. But there are some folks that, we're trying to look into that and see how can we address these things.
Yes, I think that all fits under housing.
It does, and I might add, I'm gonna point to Patrick for a minute and say Patrick is leading our housing efforts at Thrive right now, and we've got a lot, and we have a lot of opportunity ourselves if they come to fruition under some very particular grants that we're working on right now that would make the big changes that Tim pointed out that he wanted to see in large scale. So all your fingers and all your toes crossed would be really helpful for us right now. But I'm pointing to Patrick because Patrick, as you're listening to this, like Dan and Patrick, I'd like you to have that conversation about the volunteers going into the homes and things like that, because we are looking at Thrive. This is one of the areas I'm looking as an actual program area. We've been working on housing for a long time, but we don't have a true program under it, but we are starting to build enough under Patrick that we need a program area under it. And so I love everything that you guys are saying because you're spot on. It's all these areas.
So how about one more? We have a third issue that we'd like to lift up as a top priority. We'll go over to housing and communication, bringing people together.
They mentioned recycling.
Recycling was brought up. Oh, yes.
They're prodding me.
Sorry, can you catch your
He
eye?
said they're prodding.
No, they're prodding me. That's all. That's why I turned. Youth leadership skills and development. You can't say that in the word better.
So youth leadership skills is what they're saying. So would that sort of fit under like workforce development too?
It could, yeah, like the Thriving Young Professionals Leadership Program,
Yeah.
vital. Our workforce, that's a great retention tool.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that back there?
Make me louder.
Yes, say that.
I said that a thriving leader, I think this is what I said, a thriving leadership program is really essential for your workforce, and it's also a great retention tool. The young professional sees the future, right, sees they can buy the home, grow the family, get the job, they're a lot less likely to stay in the community. Plus you get great insights and ideas that you wouldn't traditionally get to when everybody in the room looks the same. You get a new voice.
Yes.
Well, two places you guys talked about are Friends and the Lehigh, it could be a young friends, there's a young Friends in the Bowl, there's young Friends in the Lehigh, and Friends in the Library. There's, that's something we can investigate as well.
Marcia, might I suggest, as you're talking about youth leadership skills and development, I'm gonna go back to what Steve said, which is how do we engage our young people? So I think it's a combination. We've got to engage them, and then we've got to create these programs or these opportunities that they want to be involved in. And we need a specific intention to do that. And that, I don't know, I'm trying to bridge both of these topics.
Yeah, we really need to engage, educate, and empower the youth to be the change makers that, honestly, I think in the younger generation, we're currently missing in a large scale. We have the one-offs that do fantastic, but if we can grow more of them, even if they end up going on to a different city, they learn that here. That's a great name for us.
Any other thoughts on the top three? Yes, Tim?
I think Dana Doherty, it would be interesting to see how he would fit into that, his new role. Because he's gonna be like, helping all these kids graduate, college and career ready. He'll be key to that.
We actually, not coding my own program, but I work with Dana in the CTE program. And we've actually added a new wrinkle to it that we haven't really publicized because it's not fully implemented yet. We have really taken CTE to a new level here. We were actually in Manhattan we actually have a better CTE program than the Manhattan Public Schools. For a small town, it's amazing. But what we've added is we have college and career, which has always been the state's motto and everything. But there's a third leg we're adding, which is livable wage skill. And perfect example is we don't have there's 2 plumbers, there's 2 electricians in the town. And if they're busy, you don't get anything done. So we have actually started creating an atmosphere where these kids, like last year, we just tinkered with small engine repair. Because we could teach a kid that doesn't want to go to college, doesn't want to have a career, but maybe wants to work on small engines, could keep busy in this town 40 hours a week just working on chainsaws, lawnmowers, and boat motors. So we're actually targeting that now with these kids that have come up to us, because you can say you're college and career ready, and the kids, a large portion of our kids go, I don't want to do any of those things, you know? And so, well, what do you want to do so you don't continue in poverty? Do something to get yourself out. So we are kind of creating some, I mean, our CTE program is pretty awesome, and Dana's done a great job, but we're trying to build the programs to expand to those workers and somehow eventually form a plumbing program in the school to where the kids could go to the plumbers and get an apprenticeship and work through those jobs that aren't going away. And, you know, when the electricians and plumbers retire, where are they coming from, you know? So
This is a huge value for primary employers too. When they hear that the K through 12 is doing things like this is the kind of stuff that gets industries really excited. And those employers that you have to already invest in this region, this is exactly the kind of thing that gets them very, very, very excited. I'm just glad everyone.
So for our top 3, we have communication amongst all the boards, housing is number 2, which encompasses a lot, and youth enterprise, youth involvement.
Youth leadership,
Youth
engagement.
leadership, yes.
Engagement.
Is that good?
And then recycling was also mentioned at the top, so.
Okay, and recycling.
I wanna make sure.
Recycling over to the.
Did we cover at this table as well, all the things, like, would you put
Yeah.
like some of that at your top as well? For when
Maybe
they
on housing, could you also add the pathways to ownership?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Anybody else have anything else they want to add? We're getting up to about an hour and a half, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. But if anybody has something they want to lift up, we're willing to listen.
I think the part needs to be thinking about Kelly, work with Chamber, making sure that we're ready to train businesses.
Oh, right. And also I want to do a shout out. The Chamber on Thursday is having a tourism workshop at the Bolus, 10 o'clock. Can people still sign up?
I think so.
So.
Yeah.
It's from the state.
I'm sure there's room.
Do you want to say anything about it?
It's just, I don't know that I didn't even realize until recently that any business you can have access to the Kansas Tourism event calendar. They'll provide you with a login, so any event that your organization, the Willis is doing a really good job right now of adding their things, but it's a statewide tourism map and event calendar, and you can, that's what she's gonna train us for, to educate us on how to be able to share our business.
Right.
Together.
Right. Anything else, anybody?
It's at the Bolus at
Yes.
10 in the
Yes.
art room, east side upstairs.
Is it just an hour?
2 hours.
2 hours.
Approximately.
I just want to say, something was brought up about some sort of calendar. We have started a calendar. What is it called?
It's the Allen County Community Calendar. We did it in partnership with the chamber. You just add it to your calendar. We got the bowl list, I think is adding stuff. The library, us, our events, school stations, the chamber, the schools, that's the other one, but sporting events.
But anybody, any agency, any group can add to that calendar, and it's supposed to be like just one calendar that you can go to and look and see what's going on.
You guys brought this up last year is a want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, if you want some information on that, we've got cards on the back table, you can take a card, email us, or call us, and we'll get you hooked jump on how more. Yes?
So how did you do get the email on Monday from the daily register?
Oh, right, and the register, they started one, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool too, yes. Thank you, I forgot to say that, yes. That gives you a week, what's happening this week. And you just have to let them know, and they'll put it on that, that's really cool too. Okay, thank you very much for coming. We will put these up on the wall if anybody wants to go around and read them tonight, or we'll take pictures and email to you.
Hey guys, real fast, this is the first time we've done a conversation like this. So we would love your feedback. You don't have to give it right now, but one, the first thing I'm gonna say is we need microphones. Microphones and a sound system so you guys can hear each other. I'm highly aware of that. But if there are other things, right, if there are other things that you would like to share with us, like was this a good model, or would you prefer to just open like we've done open before? I told Marcia, I said, man, they're getting so much like down on their sheets of paper, and I feel so useless. And so I think that's the way it's supposed to go. But think about what can be better. We would really like to know. And thank you guys so much for coming. So much for coming. And yes, if you could, and can everybody give a round of applause to Marcia?